Alright, my computer is being stupid. This will be the 5th time I've tried to upload this video. Alright, I've made Naya bloodrush. So, I'm going to go over the lands in this deck. I went in full detail before, but I'm just going to storm through this time. Alright, our first lands in the deck are 4 stomping grounds. They come into play tapped unless you pay 2 life, and they count as a forest or a mountain. Our next 2 lands are Sacred Foundries. Sacred Foundries are mountain plains that come into play tapped unless you pay 2 life. Our next cards are 4 Stomping Grounds. I mean, not Stomping Grounds. I already said Stomping Grounds. 4 Rootbound Crags. Rootbound Crags come into play tapped unless you control a forest or a mountain, and they tap for red or green. Our next 3 cards are Sunpetal Groves. Sunpetal Groves come into play tapped. Our next 3 cards are Sunpetal Groves. Sunpetal Groves come into play tapped unless you control a plains or forest, and they tap for a green or white. Our next 2 cards are Kessing Wolfrun. Kessing Wolfrun adds 1 colorless to your mana pool, 1 green, 1 red, and X, and tap this. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn and trample. So it's nice. It's for whenever you run out of bloodrush, which if they shouldn't be alive by that point, but it gives you a late game as well. Our next 3 cards, 3 basic forests. And our last 2 are 2 basic mountains. Alright. Now on to our non-creatures. Alright. For our first non-creatures, this is a 3-of. I am running 3 Farseeks. Farseeks, 1 green, 1 colorless, and it's a sorcery. Search your library for everything except a forest, but you can still get forests if you get shocklands, like Rootbound Crag. I usually do it to go fetch my red-white shockland. Our next 3 cards in here are instants, and they're a 1 red, 1 colorless. Skullcrack. Players can't gain life this turn and deal. Players can't gain life this turn. Players can't prevent damage and deal 3 damage to target player. So those are a 3-of in here as well. Our next 3 cards in here are Alpha's Authority. Alpha's Authority is a 2-drop enchantment, 1 green, 1 colorless, and it gets enchanted creature, has hexproof, and can only be blocked by 1 creature. Our next 3 cards in here are Madcap Skills. If you watched my last video, you would know that Alpha's Authority plus Madcap Skills gives it hexproof, unblockable, +3/+0. But Madcap Skills by itself is also a great card, because it gives it +3/+0 and can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures, and it's a 1 red and 1 colorless. The next 4 cards we have in here are Boros Charms. 1 white, 1 red. At instant speed, you can deal 4 damage to target player. Creatures you control are indestructible, or target creature gets double strike until end of turn. So that's nice. What I like to do with Boros Charm is either protect all of my stuff, or give my unblockable creature double strike. Alright, now we're on to the non-enchantments, non-instants, non-sorceries, non-creature stuffs. So we're running 2 Chromatic Lanterns. Chromatic Lantern is 3 colorless. It's an artifact. Lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any mana to your mana pool. And Chromatic Lantern says tap, add 1 color of any mana to your mana pool. So these are nice as well, because since we don't run that many planes, if somehow we don't get them, we get these. And it doesn't matter what we tap for land, because they all tap for the same thing. Alright. Now, our next 2 cards are Domri Raids. Domri Raid is a 1 red, 1 green, 1 colorless planeswalker. It comes into play with 3 loyalty counters on it. +1, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. -2, target creature fights another creature you control. Or target creature you control fights another creature. It's pit fight, and fight means deal damage equal to their power to each other. And next 7, you get an emblem with creatures you control have double strike, hexproof, trample, and haste. You won't get that emblem. Stop trying it. Alright, now we're on to our creatures. Let's go through the 4-ofs first. First, our 4-ofs are bloodrushers. They're slaughterhorns, 4 of them in here. Tap 1 green, target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. Or it's a tap 1 green and 2 colorless, get a 3/2. So it's an alright creature, better bloodrush. Our next 4 cards are Gore Clan Rampagers. Gore Clan Rampagers are 1 red, 1 green, 2 colorless. It's a 4/4 with trample, so it's a nice body and effect on a creature. Or 1 red, 1 green, and you can bloodrush this. Discard this. Target creature gets +4/+4 and trample until end of turn. So 1 red and 1 green. So that's nice as well. There's 4 of those. The next 4 of are Flinthoof Boars. Flinthoof Boars are a 1 red, 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/2. Or if you control a mountain, it gets +1/+1, which you will always control a mountain in this deck. And then tap 1 red. Not creatures. Flinthoof Boar gains haste until end of turn. So it's a turn 2 3/3 or a turn 3 3/3 haste. Now we're on to our 2-ofs. Our first 2 in the deck are Burning Tree Emissary. It's double hybrid. Whenever it comes on the battlefield, add 1 red, 1 green to your mana pool. Its hybrid is red and green, and it's a 2/2 body, so it's not bad. Our next cards are 2 Spark Troopers. Spark Trooper is a 1 white, 2 red, 1 colorless. And it has trample, lifelink, and haste. And at the beginning of your beginning of your end step, sacrifice Spark Trooper. So that's really nice. Yeah, Spark Trooper is really strong. He's one of the only forms of life gain in this deck. What I like to do with him is Boros Charm him and give him double strike. Gain 12 life. You block some of it, but you take the rest. All right. Our next 2 cards, we're getting into the money section. Well, besides the Shocklands. 2 Huntsmasters of the Fells. Huntsmasters of the Fells are 1 red, 1 green, and 2 colorless. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Huntmaster of the Fells, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield and you gain 2 life. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Huntsmaster of the Fells. Huntsmaster of the Fells turns into Ravager of the Fells. Ravager of the Fells is a 4/4 trample. Whenever the creature transforms into Ravager of the Fells, it deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 creature that opponent controls. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player did not cast 2 or more spells last turn, transform Huntmaster. If a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Huntmaster back into Huntmaster of the Fells, giving you 2 more life and getting you another wolf token. So there's 2 of those in here. Our last 2 cards are Boros Reckoners. Boros Reckoner is a triple red or white hybrid. It is a 3/3. Whenever Boros Reckoner is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target creature or player, and 1 hybrid red or white, and it gains first strike. So it's an awesome card. It's a 3/3, and it's a 3/3/3, and it has Stuffy Doll's ability, but better, and it has possible first strike. Really broken card. That's why it's money. Alright, now we're going into the sideboard. And our sideboard is just pure hate everything off the board. Running 4 pit fights in the sideboard. Target creature you control fights another target creature. Those are awesome for Boros Reckoners as well. Then we have Gruul Charms. Gruul Charms, choose 1. Creatures without flying can't block this turn, or gain control of all permanents you own, or Gruul Charm does 3 damage to each creature with flying. I use it for the last ability. Our next two are naturalizes. One green, one colorless, instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's to help against blind obedience or something else stupid like sphere of safety. Ah, die sphere, die. Alright. Our last four in the deck, in the sideboard, are ground assaults. Ground assault deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. So with this, you can wipe their field, or you can slowly wipe their field, or you can deal a lot of damage to Boros Reckoner. So, that was Naya Bloodrush. Hope you guys like it. If you did, comment. If not, dislike and walk the hell away. But if you like it, subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more reason I have to build decks and to make me notice I'm not just wasting my time here and no one's paying attention to me. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this because I like to share my decks because they're actually really good and I want to see a lot of people do good. So I'll see you guys later.